Hey guys, Ricardo with Phastek Performance, and today I'm here to show you how to install the Granatelli expansion tank for your 6th gen Camaro. Now this tank is going to go ahead and replace the factory expansion tank with this all aluminum one-piece design. It's got all the tabs and fittings and everything needed to go right back in the factory location to make it an easy install. Alright guys, now before we get started, we went ahead and pulled a couple tools to the side that we know we're going to need. We have our 3/8 ratchet, 10mm socket, our trim tool or a screwdriver can be used, a pair of pliers, some hose pinchers so that way we can seal off the factory hoses and not lose so much coolant, and we also have our fender cover here for extra protection as we're leaning over the car. Alright guys, now before we get started, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try and drain the coolant tank as much as we can. We're going to go and take this coolant, put it into a nice clean bucket so that way we can refill this tank when we go back together with the Granatelli tank. Now we're going to go ahead and start by removing the cap and go ahead and get a siphon and drain out some of the coolant. Alright guys, now that we have the tank mostly drained, what we're going to do is we're going to go and pinch off these lines here so that way we prevent any excess coolant that's in the line from coming back out. We got the one in front and we got the one in the rear. Go ahead and lock those down. Now what we'll do is we'll remove the plastic fitting here that's holding the main battery cable line to the tank. So we'll take our trim tool, get it under the tab, we'll work that clip out. Then we'll take our pliers and we'll go ahead and remove the coolant lines. Now with the rear line, once it's removed, if you still have a little bit of coolant, you might lose some on the back side. So we'll go ahead and got it mostly way off. Now we'll just wait until we're ready to remove the tank to finish taking it off. Alright guys, now we got the front coolant line out of the way. We'll go ahead and remove this 10mm nut that's holding the tank fixed to the car. So we're going to start by removing that, and then once we have that loose, we'll go ahead and take the rear line and we'll move that as well so we can turn the tank, tilt it forward a little bit, get that coolant off on this corner to prevent any from leaking out the back side. Take our tank, pull it forward a little bit, tilt it forward so that coolant drains down to the front. We'll take our line and we'll go and completely remove it. Alright guys, now that we have the factory tank out of the car, what you're going to want to do is we're going to go ahead and pre-fill the Granatelli tank. But there are a couple of things that we're going to have to transfer over. One thing that we're going to have to transfer over is the cover right here at the top for the deck spool. That cover is simply just going to pop off of the factory tank and transfer over to the Granatelli tank. It's going to go right back in the same location, right back on there, so that way it can clip back in place when we're ready. What we're also going to transfer over is the grommet. Down here on the bottom side, there's the grommet right there. It's going to go right back into the same location on the Granatelli tank. Take that grommet off, transfer it over, and put it back in place. Alright guys, now that we have everything in place, we have the cap over here, we have the grommet on the back side. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pre-fill the bottom half of the Granatelli tank. Now we got the coolant that we saved from earlier after taking it out of the factory tank, and what we're going to do is we're going to open up this valve down here at the bottom on the Granatelli tank. It already comes pre-installed. All you're going to have to do is open up the outer valve. You're going to open that up so that way when we start to pre-fill the tank and it starts to come out a little bit, we're going to go ahead and close it off, and so we can, that way we know we're done with pre-filling the tank. So we'll get our towel, light it down in place, take our funnel, put that in place, and we'll go ahead and start to pre-fill the tank. Alright, so now here we are. We'll go ahead and get the Granatelli tank put back in the factory location. We're going to go and line it up with the studs down at the bottom and at the top. Move our harness here a little bit. get everything lined up so we can get it back in place. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take the connector, plastic pin connector back here, push that back down in place, right in the location that on the new Granatelli tank. We'll take our coolant lines and we'll go ahead and reinstall those as well. Now once the lines are installed, we'll go ahead and let loose our clamps. Make sure everything's good in the proper location. Everything's tight. So now what we'll do, we'll go ahead and refill the tank and we'll be finished. Alright guys, now that we've double checked the coolant level on the top side of the tank, we're going to go ahead and complete the installation of the Granatelli expansion tank for the 6th Gen Camaro.